All right, everybody. We've got one more video of first round cornerbacks to get through here, the cream of the crop in terms of prospects. And then later today, we will segue into the second rounders. And we do have a couple of those as well. Actually, a good amount. It's a very thick draft class for corners at the top. I think there are 10 guys that will go in the top 64. And if you throw in the third rounders, I think you're talking about like 13 or 14. So it's pretty thick here at the top. All right, so still at the top here, still in the first round, Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean of Iowa. A very interesting one here because some places have him listed as a safety. There are some sites, some evaluators that view him as a safety, but I think as time has gone by, people have really started to circle the wagons around him being a corner, which I tend to agree with at this point. But that versatility is valuable, potentially. So he's 21, 6 foot, half an inch, 203 pounds, so a little bigger than most of the guys we're looking at here, honestly. 31 and 1/8 arms, 9 and 5/8 hands. All the big boards have him in the first, except for the Draft Network. They have him in the mid-second. But there's wide variance there, too. Like, PFF has him in the top 10. CBS has him 30th. The aggregate puts him 21st. So that's approximately the average of it all. He had a little bit of an injury issue in 2023, which killed his production. But he was still good. Still 41 tackles, 2 picks, 5 passes defensed. And the year before that, when he was healthy all year, he had 5 picks, 75 tackles, 8 passes defensed, elite PFF grade, or borderline elite. So he proved himself in 2022 and for most of 2023. Didn't test, and I will admit, I don't think his testing numbers would have been the greatest, but I think that he is a very good player and a very exciting player. And if the Seahawks were to trade back a little bit in this draft and end up with Cooper DeJean, I would not be surprised, nor would I be upset, because I think that he brings a lot of qualities to the table that you want. He might be able to play snaps as a cornerback and safety, like I said. He might offer that versatility. His click and close is really good. He's great in zone defense. You put him in zone, he's going to make great breaks on the ball, and he's going to provide a lot of value as somebody who can read the play properly, pass off routes, jump routes when it's appropriate. So really good in zone. He's somebody who can work his way through blockers when chasing the ball. He's very aggressive when he chases the ball as a cover guy and a run defender. He's a very powerful tackler. He's a really good tackler, so he brings those skills to the table 100%. And I like his just general football IQ of having great awareness. When the play is going on, it seems like he's just kind of aware of everything at all times, and he's able to put himself in good positions because of that next level awareness. So he's a very smart football player. He plays with a very ferocious nature that is hard to teach. There's just this aggression to him, this tenacity, and he's got good ball skills. I know they're not quite as flashy as the previous guys. The previous guys making multiple passes, pass breakups every single game they play, pretty much. But Cooper DeJean has good ball skills as well. 7 interceptions over the last 2 years with an injury. He probably would have had a couple more if he didn't get hurt last year. Now, Cooper DeJean has become a little bit notorious this offseason because he is a white cornerback or a white defensive back, which is obviously extremely rare in the NFL. And he's obviously remarkable to be able to overcome that and become what will probably be the first starting white cornerback in the league since I think people were saying it was like Jason Sehorn, because Riley Moss hasn't started yet. So Cooper DeJean does have impressive athleticism, but I do think the meme is going to hold a little bit of weight when he gets to the NFL. He doesn't have the reactive athleticism to hang on in man coverage. You put Cooper DeJean in man coverage, it's not going to be great. Now, McDonald seems to like zone, so I don't think this is going to be a problem, but it is something to be aware of. The further he gets away from the line of scrimmage, the less effective he is. He's good around the ball, near the line, because when he puts his back to the line of scrimmage and is like sprinting downfield to catch a guy running a 9 route, he's a little less comfortable. So that's why I think he's a zone guy primarily. and 2023 truncated by injury, so we don't have a full picture of what he would have done in 2023 if he was healthy. But I really like him. I think he's a very intriguing player. I think he's going to be great in a zone-heavy scheme, which I think we will have with McDonald. I don't think he has superstar potential because he doesn't have the ability to do everything. Like, you do want him playing a more physical brand of football. You want him playing facing the quarterback, facing the line of scrimmage. But I think what is here is good enough to be a clear first-round player. So I put him in the middle to late first. I think that the big board has it about right. And again, if the Seahawks trade back a little bit and get him, I'm not going to be unhappy about that at all. I think that he would fit in great with what McDonald is doing. So I like it. It's very rare that I'm willing to circle the wagons around a first round pick that doesn't have great athletic traits. But in this case, I'm willing to make an exception because I think everything else is so good that it mitigates that problem. Final first round cornerback this year for me would be Kool-Aid McKinstry of Alabama. Not to say that there isn't another cornerback who could go in the first, but I don't think it's going to happen. Kool-Aid will go in the first, I think. Every big board except ESPN has him in the first, and ESPN has him one pick out. 21 years old, 5'11" and a half, 199 pounds, 32-inch arms, so pretty good size, actually, especially compared to this class. 8.5-inch hands, that's a little bit sus, but so he's not going to make a lot of interceptions, I guess. But yeah, the big boards all have him around the same area. Pretty good production the last couple of years, 22 passes defensed. He did take a little bit of a step back in that area in 2023, but PFF grade went up significantly. So he was still a good player, it looks like. Near as I can tell, he was still really good. His stock did drop over the season. Maybe he did because he didn't have monstrous ball production, but he was still really good. He's a good tackler. He gives effort in run support. I don't think you're going to have to worry about him taking plays off or making business decisions. He's proven himself capable of being a good press man corner. When he's put in press man situations, he holds up really well. When he is chucking receivers at the line of scrimmage, he seems to be at his most comfortable. He's got great quickness. He's got great lateral agility. I know he didn't test, but I think that if he did test, he would have come up pretty good. His lateral agility is really notable at the line of scrimmage when he's trying to stay in front of a receiver to press them. He flips his hips really fluidly when turning his back to the ball, so when he transitions from a backpedaler to a runner, backpedaling was the word I was trying to think of earlier, by the way, it looks natural and good. He's very aggressive at the catch point, really good at raking his hands across the receiver's hands to jar the ball loose. He's got slot corner versatility as well. He might be able to do some slot stuff in the NFL. I don't think that'll be his main value because he is capable of doing outside stuff, but it's worth definitely putting an earmark on that and considering the value he can add there. Now, even though I think his speed is pretty good, I feel like he gives up plays over the top. Like vertical routes seem to really stress him, and it seems like receivers can build separation and even stack him up where they get in front of him. So it's harder for him to get back in the play. Bigger receivers can out-physical him a little bit, I think. He is a little bit... He's not necessarily that small, but the bigger receivers can bully him a little bit, I feel like. And generally speaking, I feel like he gives up separation in coverage despite having the speed to keep up. I think there's maybe just a little something holding him back on being able to use his speed productively. So some concerns with Kool-Aid. I can see why things cooled off a little bit with him, but still very good. So, got a lot of talent. Every reason to believe he'll be really good in the NFL. I think the issues he has are mostly things that can be coached up. Maybe he'll never be able to stop being out-physicaled by big receivers, but I don't think there's anything physically wrong with him that makes him give up plays over the top or makes him give up separation. I think it's just something needs to get unlocked a little bit there. And he's only 21. No reason why it shouldn't be done. So as long as he's willing to work hard, which he probably is, I think he'll find his way. So late first round pick to me. I would definitely want to be trading back to like 28 before I draft him. But if you did that and you did draft him, I would get it. I wouldn't get it quite as much as some of these other guys. I like some of these other guys more. But I do think he has first-round value, and I think he brings enough to the table to be worth considering for any team, even if you don't necessarily have a dire need for a cornerback. All right. So that'll do it for the first round, guys. Next video, we're going to open up the can on the second rounders. And yeah, that'll take a couple videos to get through. We'll be done with that by the end of the day. And then tomorrow we start on the day round 3 guys. And then we segue into the day 3 guys. All right. See you guys later. Go Hawks.